Women's basketball has been struggling to bring up their overall record since their major blowout loss against the Minnesota Gophers back in December. Since that game, they've lost 7 of the 9 games they've played, bringing their overall record to 9 wins and 11 losses. Within conference play, they currently hold a record of 3-4. However, of the games they've lost, the deficits have not been more than 10 points, proving that with some work, this team could turn these somewhat close losses into wins. Despite their recent streak of losses, junior guard Sydney Zambrotta is back from injury, and both freshman players Tori Hajduk and Mayowa Taiwo are giving the team key scoring opportunities. Zambrotta scored 16 points in her first game off the bench against Duquesne, and Hajduk and Taiwo are averaging 15 points per game consecutively. Taiwo is also averaging 6 rebounds per game, putting her in the top 15 players in the A10 and making her a key defensive player, grabbing rebounds off the glass. The combination of these 3 players on the court will be key if this team hopes to improve their results. But let's not count out our other freshman, Faith Blethen, who has consistently averaged 6.5 points per game and is currently in the top 15 A10 players for three-point percentage. And while this is just a brief overview of the team's current status, here to give us a better look at the team is our resident women's basketball correspondent, Bella Crochane. Bella, what are we looking at with this team? And what are we looking at in terms of key players going into the A10 conference play?
Well, we can see in the past 2 games against St. Joseph's and UMass that we did win, that the team is kind of starting to pick things back up. You mentioned Faith Blethen. She's really been an outstanding player. She had 3 3-pointers in a row in the end of the last game, totaling 11 points overall. And it's really been a couple of just really key players that have been able to bring this team back. They haven't had more than 2 wins in a row since December 4th and December 7th, so they really need to start picking that up again. But as for the St. Joseph's game, the game is going back and forth. They need to strategically work on their defense because their defense is lacking. Their rebounds are lacking. Their offense is good, but if they can't get the defense, they're not going to stop it.
I think so far their record has been pretty consistent, but like you said, there are definitely some places for them to polish up going into A10 conference. So just talking a little bit about Sydney Zambrotta, who just came back from an injury and has had Tori Hajduk and Taiwo, who, like you mentioned earlier, is one of the top A10 players in the conference. So what do you think going into the rest of the season, how these freshman players have been really contributing? How will they be able to contribute to our current star Zambrotta, who's a junior? She'll be taking a leadership role next year. Will these freshmen be able to supplement that? Do they need some more work?
Well, I think a perfect example of that would be the UMass game on January 26th. Zambrotta had a standout game. She and Stevenson were the ones that closed the win. But then you look at Taiwo, she carried the win with the most points, the most rebounds, 14 points, 8 rebounds. So they haven't been super consistent, but when they are, they're all working together, and you can see that makes such a big difference.
Yeah, I think this team has really been about the freshman leadership. With Zambrotta out, she's such a huge contributor to this team. And now that we have these 2 freshmen, Faith Blethen and also Tori Hajduk as a redshirt, I think that they both play such an important role. Tori's been incredible on the court. She's been a huge scoring impact on the team, and she's just been great overall and really helping the team bond and grow stronger without Sydney Zambrotta.
Right, and also another name to point out, Maddie Loader, who has been a popular name here on the show since last season. She was one of the lead scoring freshman players last season and continues to be a lead scorer going into this season. So definitely another name we would like to keep in mind. So just kind of wrapping it up, what do you think is the season's looking like for the remainder?
I think they have a good chance of continuing their winning streak as long as they tighten up their defense and their rebounds, because that's what it's all about. And they need more accuracy with their free throws and their 3-pointers, because once they tighten everything up, it's going to be much easier for them.
Thank you, Bella.
Of course.